What was your response to the Val Venis gimmick, and who came up with this? Was this Vince gave you a phone call and said, by the way, I got this idea?
So I had signed in January 98, and I was back down in Mexico performing, continuing my obligations down there. It was, about a month and a half or so went by, and I get a call. It was 7 o'clock in the morning in Mexico City. My phone rings in the hotel, and I'm like, hello, and it's Vince, and I'm like, oh, hey, Vince, how are you doing? And he's like, so we got this character that we want to shoot by you, and I want to tell you that if you don't feel comfortable with this character, you have to tell me no, you don't want to do it, because if you don't feel comfortable doing it, it's not going to work. And I don't want to put money behind something that you don't feel comfortable, because that's going to take away the chances of that character working, which makes perfect sense.
Sure. Right.
And so I said, I'm all ears. And he says, okay, so Val Venis, the last name spelled Venis. Now, when he spelled that to me, I didn't know why he was spelling it to me, but when he spelled it to me, it didn't clue in. I was kind of like, okay.
Hey, Vince, you're spelling it wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking, but okay, whatever.
You're smart enough to spell.
And he goes, now, Val Venis was a former film star turned pro wrestler. And the first thought in my head is,
Orson Welles?
I'm thinking Jesse Ventura. Okay. Hollywood Jesse Ventura. Makes lots of films.
Sure.
And I'm thinking that's already been done.
Right.
I'm not saying this. I'm thinking this.
Thinking this.
It's already been done. How's something that's already been done going to work?
Right.
But I'm still ears. And then he says, now Val Venis is actually
Here we go.
an adult film star turned pro wrestler. I go, I'm in.
I'm in.
He goes, whoa.
Business, and now you're talking to this giant icon.
Man,
What are you feeling like?
Well, I'm thinking porn star turned pro wrestler. Fuck yeah! And
pitch me.
And so Vince is like, "Whoa, hold on." I go, "No. You don't have to twist my arm anymore. I'm in.
Right.
I'll do it." And he goes, "Hold on. Listen, I need to make sure you're comfortable with this character." And I'm going, "Comfortable? I'm in." So he goes, "Listen, I want you to take 24 hours at least and ponder it." And
really
just think about the implications, whatever. Make sure there's nothing you don't feel uncomfortable about. He says, you need to feel comfortable about this character from start to finish. And I go, well, what is there about this character that I wouldn't feel comfortable about?
You might
it hasn't been done before, and it's a porn star turned pro wrestler.
All right. That's
unbelievable.
He goes, just sit on it for 24 hours, right? So okay, well, 24 hours later, I called him up and said, I'm in. That was it.
That's
pretty much it.
Wow.
Didn't need a lot of pondering about it, right? So, yeah, that was pretty much it, And
did you call wardrobe and say, "Where's my wardrobe? Here's a towel"?
No, it was. So I finished up my obligations. We actually, at the time, once we settled on that, we flew up. I took a couple of days off, flew up to New York. We did the vignettes, and then he sent me back down to Mexico to finish up my obligations at the time. And so the vignettes were playing while I was still wrestling in Mexico under the mask, and didn't think about wardrobe or anything. We already had the towel. The way the towel came about was the very first vignette where I stepped out of the shower with the Scores girls.
Okay.
And there was a towel hanging on the rack. So it was just part of the scene.
Right.
And when I opened up the thing, I take the towel off and I wrap it around my waist and I cut my promo for the vignette. And the first thing I thought was, I'm wearing a towel. Nobody wears a towel to the ring.
That's right.
I'm going to wear this to the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's as simple as that. That's how the towel gimmick came up. It was just part of the very first vignette. And the very first thing I did was step out of the shower, wrap it around my waist, and I'm like, hey, that's a great gimmick there.
But I got to ask, though, because the towel thing is a work of art.
Yeah.
Did you, in the hotel room, were you practicing that?
No.
Because that was so
none
great.
None of that was
great.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
It just came on the fly.
Really?
Literally
well,
came
here's
on
to the fly.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
awesome.
something like, okay, I'm going to wear a towel to the ring. And so that's all I thought about it. And so the very first night when I make the appearance on Raw, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing with this towel. No clue. I just know I'm going down there as a porn star and going to, hit on the girls and, bash the guys. And so the very first time I walk out as Val Venis onto the stage and I went, well, what should I do now? And I'm like looking around going, I'm going to swivel my hips. And I just fucking went, bing, put my hand on my back. And I was doing it on stage. And so every time I went out, I added a little something to it just based on how I felt walking down to the ring. And it took probably a couple of weeks of walking down to the ring, every night before I got to the point where, okay, this feels good in the middle of the ring, pointing there,
Love it.
gigging it out. and taking the towel off, doing a little dance with it, spinning it around. So it was a work in progress that eventually, you know.
And where do we get one of the, in my opinion, one of the great catchphrases? Hello, ladies. Where does that come from?
So that's another one
beautiful.
that was just part of the very first vignette.
Okay.
You know, when I stepped out of that shower, I went, or no, it was the one when I was laying in the bed.
Okay.
The very, very first vignette when I was laying in the bed when it said Val Venis is coming. And I went, hello, ladies, to the camera. It was the introduction.
The best.
And it's the introduction of the vignette. Why shouldn't it be the introduction of my ring appearance?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it was something that no one else has done. It's simple. It's hello,
Here's
ladies.
a ridiculous question though. So I always thought about this. There's an HBO